Toronto Mac, bitch. It's happening.
Man, play that shit, B.
Yeah. Same day action, nigga. Yeah. Niggas say they on my topic, got the drop and ain't no pressure. Straddle with this chop, I'm on your block with nothing lesser. 33 shots, I have his ass up on that stretcher. Them niggas ain't no shit, they soft as fuck when it come to texture. The streets be a gamble, get off the porch and roll a dice. Go ahead and troll, we on your head just like some lights. Shimmy ass nigga, we ain't tripping off the price. Well, all you niggas broke, he show a band and say they like. Get that goofy off the ground, nigga, go and get your mans. Them ice riding niggas, they be thumbing through them bands. Niggas ain't no silence in the suckers, it's a must. When it came behind that shit, we turn a nigga to some rush. Only fuck with real life is with my niggas savage. Y'all just looking like some pay, bitch, we really have it. I can show you how to catch a hat. Let a nigga touch mud, we spin it back to back. It's Toronto Mac, nigga.
You can't ride up in this low without a beat. How you funkin', bitch, you low up on your cheese, G.O.D., nigga. I get pissy on your block with F&E's. Got your mama crying, you smothered in the street. I cause a ruckus, I'm a problem when I creep. I get aggressive on the scene. Bounce out, walk up, I'm tryna spank him with a yeet. Ronald Mac, and Mumu told him 50 on the yeet. It ain't no passes, fuck suckers, drop a low so we can breathe.
Hit your block, you left that nigga face down in the cold. You niggas troll, I'm the reason why that bitch ass nigga gone. Fuck my ops and your bitch ass better buy yourself a pole. Baby, do it, smoke your ass in broad day, them niggas cold. You niggas broke, I just blew 100 and spent it on some poles. Bitch, I was sleeping in the trap, bitch, you ain't never seen no dope man. Bitch, I'm top op, I get you grabbed just for speaking on it. Pop that nigga top and left that bitch nigga up in the gutter.
You can't ride up in this low without a beat. How you funkin', bitch, you low up on your cheese, G.O.D., nigga. I get pissy on your block with F&E's. Got your mama crying, he smothered in the street. I cause a ruckus, I'm a problem when I creep. I get aggressive on the scenes. Bounce out, walk up, I'm tryna spank him with a yeet. Ronald Mac, and Mumu told him 50 on the yeet. It ain't no passes, fuck suckers, drop a low so we can breathe. 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 Drop a low so we can breathe.
Gangland. Yeah, man, we gotta get straight to it, man. This Gangland at the dark, and we gonna talk about it, bro. Y'all better stop playing with Gangland, man. Hey, when we come on here, man, we pop it, man. We talk about it.
Gangland, 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 gangland.
40 crappie mouth, chop up crappie men. DM and pics of hella guns, but they won't drop a pin. Yeah, we gon' box you in. Wiggle through this section, we gon' box you in. Fuck from me, fine in Vegas, nigga, I be in the hood. Lower bottom, nigga, ain't no nigga running from life and hood. My clique ain't hold up the Drake, bet the starter can. Drum on everything up your block, like a marching band. Man, hey, y'all tap in, man, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel.
Shout out to everybody, you understand me, that pulled up yesterday to the Gangland.
Niggas know me, been off the points is like back when. Gang in the field, bitch, we be something like the Pac-10.
Gangland, we around this motherfucker, man.
Oh, man, bitch, stand on that. To the head, I'll show a nigga's feelings. My 9th and Wood, nigga, up the street from the village.
We ain't in it, you niggas don't talk no guns, we ain't in it.
Make sure you put him down, never leave a witness. No love for the suckers, never on forgiveness. Stomp down on these niggas, cause niggas is big. Ooh, about to blow something. Man got the stick, about to hold something. Ooh.
Y'all know what it is. It's Gangland TV to sit there and live. Hit the like button. Don't be boosty. And subscribe to the channel. And hit the notification bell, man. That shit easy, man. You know what I'm saying? Easy. Subscribing. That's free as fuck. Hit the notification bell. That's free as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That shit's free.
Gang in the field, bitch. We be something like the Pac-10.
Yesterday at approximately 11 a.m., we get a phone call from 145 Merlin Court, which is in northwest Fayette County. And we got a call from a man who had identified himself as a father of an individual that inside this residence was a homicide scene.
This is just a gruesome crime. A Fayette County man has been arrested accused of killing his wife, burning her body, and then burying it in the backyards.
Around 11 a.m. on August 21st, Fayetteville police will receive a phone call from a male stating that his son just confessed to him that he killed his wife in self-defense and buried her body behind their home. Dozens of investigators combed through the property before finally stumbling upon the body of an adult female. The victim was identified as 39-year-old mother of two, Carrie Hardin, who was sadly pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect was immediately identified as Carrie's husband and father of her two sons, 39-year-old Kenneth Hardin. During the initial search of the crime scene, officers could tell immediately that there was someone with blood loss and that someone had attempted to clean the crime scene. Dozens of investigators combed through the property, reviewing surveillance video and collecting evidence. Carrie Hardin's body, which showed signs of gunshot wounds, was discovered in a shallow grave behind the couple's home along Merlin Court in Fayetteville. According to a statement from the sheriff's office, her remains were partially burned and buried under yard debris. According to Ken Hardin's father, his son had purchased a plane ticket for him to fly to Georgia. The two met at a bank where Ken handed over all of his bank accounts and other fiscal responsibilities to his father before revealing a startling confession. He stated that he killed his wife in self-defense, burned her body, and was leaving town. Apparently, on the morning of August 20th, Ken and Carrie got into an argument while either Carrie, Ken, or both were under the influence of alcohol. This was never clarified. At some point during the argument, Ken claims to have murdered Carrie in self-defense. Ken's father immediately reported the incident to law enforcement. Investigators were so shocked by the boldness of the crime that they compared the case to something that they could only see on TV. Not only do you have one victim in this tragic situation, but there are multiple victims, including two young boys that now have to grow up without their mother or father. Their lives forcefully changed forever because of a cowardly act carried out by their own father, the one person who's supposed to protect them. Fayette County deputies tracked Kenneth Hardin to a motel in Covington, Louisiana. With assistance from the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office and the Louisiana State Patrol, Hardin was apprehended by a SWAT team in his motel room without incident. Ken's initial plan was to have a shootout with police, but it seems like in the end, he changed his mind. News of the murder shocked everyone. The couple appears to be in a happy and healthy relationship, with one person even posting, "OMG, rest in peace, Carrie Hardin. Who would have ever thought? You and Ken seem like couple goals. Damn."
Now we gonna stop it right there. I know y'all got something to say about this. I'm gonna drop the link. I know y'all got something to say about this. I'm gonna drop the link. You know what I'm saying? I know somebody got something to say about this. You know what I'm saying? For one, you don't bury a body in self-defense. You see what I'm saying? You don't bury a body when in self-defense. It's just hella shit. Like, bruh, if it's self-defense, why leave the scene? If it's self-defense, why even try to clean up the scene? If it's self-defense, I'm just saying, though, good brother. I'm just saying, if it's self-defense, now you a man. This is a woe man. Not saying that she couldn't pick up something to do something to you, but I'm just saying, though, as far as what we hearing right now, bro, you set her on fire, you buried her, you tried to clean the scene up. Hey, that's not self-defense, nigga. What's wrong, bro? What's going on with you? That's not self-defense. What's going on? That's do that seem like self-defense?
Not at all. Yeah, that brother is trying to clear his tracks, and then he decided he wanted to have a shootout with police. I mean, come on, man.
I think he said he wanted to, but he never did.
They probably stopped him before he began, you know?
He had already went to his daddy and confessed.
This dude went to great lengths to cover up the crime. You don't do that if it's self-defense. You're going to try to stand your ground, right? I mean, exactly. I understand he didn't want to get locked up and shit, but you shouldn't have done that shit. What was so argumentative that he probably, you know what? Pull his face back, that picture with him and her. It looked like they by a pool or something.
Hold on real quick.
And I've seen this case before, and I thought it was fucked up. I want to show you something real quick.
Where you see it at?
Oh, right here in the video. That you playing? It's like towards the beginning, like after towards the beginning. You just passed it.
No, I'm saying where did you hear the story from initially?
Black girl.
Oh, Black girl Unlocked?
Yeah, I always watch her shit.
All right, man. Where did you find her channel from?
Well, I watched it before I came to Gangland.
Okay.
So I've been seeing bits and pieces, you know, here and there when I run across it. I have to take a break from it.
A lot of people popped out because of Gangland. You know
you gave her up. And I thank you for that. She has a lot of stories. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, you know, this is not a channel you binge watch. Sometimes you got to take a break from it all.
Nah, I binge watch her shit. That's a channel that I would say that I would. You know what I'm saying? I wanna let. Damn, I never heard of this story. Damn, I never heard of this story. You see what I'm saying? Damn, I never heard of this story. Shout out to Black Girl Unlocked.
I can only take so much.
Man, I'm fucking with all her content.
Yeah, I can only take so much of her, you know, because it's triggering for me. But
yeah, I fuck with her. I watch all that shit.
Yeah, she has a lot of stories on there, and everybody knows their limitations. You know, when you've been through shit, you've been through shit. You know, so. But I wanted to show you something.
You said where the picture was in the beginning?
Yeah, when you first started, it's a picture of them, like she's facing him and he's looking at her. And they're standing, smiling. They're standing right there. Now look at this picture closely. Look at his face.
What about his face?
Look at his face. And then look at hers. Now, I'm sorry. I've seen that smile before. It's like a smile that, I don't know, man. It's a creepy smile. Like, better make this look good or something. Maybe I'm feeding too much into it? Because if you see the other pictures, he's not smiling. If you see some of his other pictures, you'll see some more.
That picture, I would say that they were genuinely happy at that moment, I would say.
That's what it gives you, right?
It don't look like it was forced, it looked like it was coarse, but it does look like, okay, we're happy in this moment. You know what I'm saying?
Or they're making it look that way. Well, he is. I don't know. I've seen that smile before, trust and believe. But
so he
look at the other.
The happy.
Yeah, there's something behind that. And then if you look at all the other pictures, though, he ain't smiling. Not like that.
I think they look genuinely happy in this picture, like they happy for the moment.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, you see what you see.
That's just my perspective.
Okay,
I think they happy for the moment.
Wait till you see his other pictures.
No, I've seen his other pictures. He had a regular ass nigga mugshot. I've seen that shit.
Yeah, I never did like that look. It looks.
His mugshot, you know, your mugshot tell it all too. Your mugshot tell it all. I don't give a fuck. I do give a fuck. I'm fucked. I'm sad. I'm guilty. I'm innocent. Nigga, pictures be looking, they tell the truth, man. They mugshot tell the truth.
It does.
In this tragic situation, but there are multiple victims, including 2 young boys that now have to grow up without their mother or father. Their lives forcefully changed forever because of a cowardly act carried out by their own father, the one person who's supposed to protect them. Fayette County deputies tracked Kenneth Hardin to a motel in Covington, Louisiana. With assistance from the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office and the Louisiana State Patrol, Hardin was apprehended by a SWAT team in his motel room without incident. Ken's initial plan was to have a shootout with police, but it seems like in the end, he changed his mind. News of the murder shocked everyone. The couple appears to be in a happy and healthy relationship, with one person even posting, "OMG, rest in peace, Carrie Hardin. Who would have ever thought? You and Ken seem like couple goals. Damn."
Fayette County Sheriff's investigators are currently in Louisiana interrogating a man accused of killing his wife at their Fayetteville home.
Investigators say they found his wife's body partially burned and buried in a shallow grave. Fox 5's Eric Mock joins us from the Fayette County Sheriff's Office with details about this gruesome crime.
Fayette County Sheriff Barry Babb says in his almost 40 years of law enforcement experience, this is one of the more grisly crimes he's had to work. But thanks to quick work and coordination with other agencies, they were able to catch the suspect, even though he'd fled all the way to Louisiana.
It's shocking as hell. Definitely seemed like something that would be on on one of those shows. I didn't expect that.
Jabril Muhammad says he would have never expected his neighbor, 39-year-old Kenneth Hardin Jr., to be accused of something like this.
He seemed like a cool dude. Like I said, he had a fireworks show down here for the kids before the 4th of July.
Fayette County Sheriff Barry Babb says Hardin shot and killed his wife, 39-year-old Carrie Hardin, early Tuesday morning while his children slept.
So they went to school on Tuesday, never seeing their mother.
The sheriff's office says it learned of the crime after Hardin flew his father into town and gave him his last will and testament.
He had told his father that he had shot his wife and pretty much that he was now going to be on the run.
Hardin's father called the sheriff's office, who began investigating. Babb says a license plate reader helped them track Hardin's car to a motel in Louisiana. A SWAT team there moved to take him into custody while they searched the large property for his wife's body.
I got almost basically 2 calls at the same time that the cadaver dog located our victim, which was buried in a very shallow grave on the back part of the property, and at the same time that the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office took him into custody without incident.
Sheriff Babb says the body was partially burned. He says Fayette County investigators got on the first flight to Louisiana Thursday morning, where they've apparently had no trouble interviewing Hardin.
He is completely cooperating to the point that I will tell you that Captain Lee, who has been an investigator investigator at least 3 decades, said I've never had a homicide suspect want to tell us everything.
Sheriff Babb says so far the
Now we just gonna stop it there and say, man, let's stop that bullshit. That man, this is the first homicide person that we had that wanted to tell us everything. Man, y'all know how many snitches y'all got? How many niggas that ain't killed niggas? And they in there like, well, shit, I'm gonna get a lesser sentence if I tell and cooperate. Don't stop acting like y'all ain't had no niggas snitch and cooperate. That shit crazy, bro. That shit crazy. Y'all know y'all had some niggas cooperate, tell, get other people caught. Hey, look, did Davion Murphy run to Louisiana after he did something to Julio Foolio? Don't nobody know where Davion Murphy at.
No, that boy's still out, still at large, huh?
Foolio still making music. Foolio still dropping hits. You know what I'm saying? Is it bothering ATK? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, bro, this nigga still got music, bro. Like, you should know a nigga that do music, he got a whole bunch of music. If you know a nigga do music, you know he got a whole bunch of music. So it's like the song that Yungeen Ace did to the That's Not My Problem. Bro was talking out. You gotta think though. I like the beat, you know what I'm saying? The beat go, that's just not my problem. I like that part, you know what I'm saying? As far as like dissing a nigga mama, I ain't on that, bro. I ain't dissing no nigga mama. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to do nothing to a nigga mama. I don't even, you know what I'm saying? It's like he taking it there. You see what I'm saying? And he said in the song, when he got shot and he was slipping, that wasn't a problem. But when, you know what I'm saying, his mom's got hit coming out that trap, that wasn't his problem. So, I mean, hey, man, it go both ways, you know? Like, it wasn't that nigga problem. You know what I'm saying? It's what you gonna do about it. A problem, do the definition of a problem. Anything that's a problem need to be resolved. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's a problem need to be answered or resolved. You know what I'm saying? So he's saying, nigga, that's not my problem. All right, you know what I'm saying? What was the end to that? Did they think Foolio did have something to do with that? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying no. So nigga gotta read between the lines and know, man, like, man, when it comes to this gangster shit, man, what's really going on and what's what. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. In this situation, running is not self-defense. Burying and burning a body is not self-defense. Fleeing the city, fleeing the scene, trying to clean the scene, that's not self-defense. This nigga on, and then you had a firework part, nigga. You was lighting fireworks for the kids. You told your daddy what happened. Yeah, nigga. You told your daddy what happened. Gave him your bank account, money, and whatever the fuck else you said, and then you fled the scene, bro. That's not self-defense, my nigga.
or the motive they've gathered from Hardin was a late-night domestic dispute mixed with heavy drinking.
39-year-old Kenneth Hardin was arrested in Louisiana and is being held at the St. Tammany Parish Correctional Center as a fugitive from justice. He is currently awaiting extradition to Georgia to face murder charges. The couple's 2 children, who are in elementary school and middle school, are in the care of the family. The case remains ongoing.
Was yesterday at approximately 11 a.m., we get a phone call from 145 Merlin Court, which is in northwest Fayette County. And we got a call from a man who had identified himself as a father of an individual that inside this residence was a homicide scene. He had related that his son had purchased a plane ticket for him to fly to Georgia and met him at a bank earlier before we were notified, and had done legal documentation, control of bank accounts and things like that. Told his father, which we would identify the suspect as Kenneth Hardin Jr., 39 years of age, that he had told his father that he had shot his wife, and pretty much that he was now going to be on the run, that their two children, and the victim would be his wife, and their two children were in school, an elementary age child and a middle school child. So part of the timeline is we are very sensitive to what these children know, and wanted to make sure that that was in line, among other things. So when officers got on the scene, they cleared the house. It's a very large, very nice house, nice neighborhood. Matter of fact, the neighbors had told us that they were good neighbors, no issues. I think we had 2 previous calls for service there, which were very benign, like maybe a suspicious situation in the neighborhood where they had called something in. So nothing that would alert us that there were any past problems or future problems to be at this residence. So at that point, the officers cleared the residence. This house was almost 7,000 square feet, had some out structures as well, but the officers could definitely tell immediately that there was somebody with some blood loss and that somebody had attempted to clean this crime scene. Now, this was yesterday morning. So investigators went to work. By the time I got to the scene, we had a full crew there. We even called in our veteran crime scene investigator who's probably been on every homicide scene, every major case. He came in because he was off. We brought in everybody. And that's one of the things that was really tremendous to see is probably within moments, we had leveraged probably 24 or more veteran officers to start working this case. The children were immediately taken care of, because in this situation where we feel like we have a suspected gunman, which is actually going to be these children's father, that we wanted to make sure that the schools were safe and that the children were safe. So we immediately worked with the agencies where these children were located and that the children were taken care of. So when I walked through the crime scene, and I'll give you my perspective, when I walked through the crime scene, obviously you could see that somebody had tried to clean it up. So if this was a crime scene that had some age on it. We did learn from the children that they had not seen their mother since Monday, counting that yesterday was Wednesday. So the thing that really struck me was the amount of surveillance equipment at this house. There were cameras all over the acreage that it had. It was several acres, all over the acreage. And there were cameras all throughout the house. I stood and looked at a multiplex screen of how many cameras that you could see and the angles and the positions. And anytime I see a camera set up like this, I'm also thinking covert. So I actually spoke to the captain investigator on the scene and said, assume you are recorded and your suspect is listening to you. Now, I will tell you that that came true. He actually admitted that. So at that point, everything, we knew we were dealing with somebody that now, from the DVR on the scene, we were losing some hours during the middle of the night on Tuesday morning. I call it middle of the night, but Tuesday morning, we were losing a section of that. So we pretty much inferred that that was probably the time of the homicide. But here's what's interesting. We didn't have a body. And I think you probably picked up on that we did not have the victim, which should be Carrie Hardin, also 39 years of age, which is the wife and the mother of those 2 boys. So we still were able to move with probable cause and secure a homicide warrant, secure the search warrant, obviously, before we actually started any kind of investigation within the house. And we started now trying to leverage, like most agencies do now, leverage technology to get a tactical advantage against our suspect. Because there's 3 things really, and I've said this before in press releases, there's 3 things that are very important to me as the head of this agency. And number 1 is public safety, obviously. Do we have a threat to our community? Do we have a threat to anybody's community? But do we have a threat also against law enforcement? Because one of the other things that was very obvious was a large amount of weapons, large amount of firearms. At that point, my first thought is I'm wearing a mourning badge or a mourning band across my badge, like the other officers here at the sheriff's office, because we are in a state of honoring a fallen deputy in Paulding County. So we know that we have a suspect on the run. And now we know that after meeting with his dad Wednesday morning at the bank here locally, that now he's got a pretty good jump on us. So that's where Major Harper and his team came really into their own and started. And we did use some tag reader technology, but he made cases against that. So we were really running blind for a long time. But because of some key components in the investigation, and I did talk about the one thing, which is public safety. The second thing is the most important thing after that is really for me, and I know for all these officers, we want to do the best job possible for the victim. We want to do the best possible job for the survivors of the victim. And so we have to maintain the integrity of the case, which is my third factor. So we won't tell you about some of this stuff because we still can have a trial. It could be a capital punishment case. And I know
this nigga so they met the nigga daddy at the bank trying to get his money out for him. Nigga, why y'all didn't take that nigga daddy to jail, bro? Because that nigga daddy fake was harboring him, though. Like, after that nigga daddy after he told his daddy that he unalived his wife and his daddy didn't do nothing, he damn near like an accomplice or some shit like that. Like,
yeah, that's weird. They usually make it that person an accomplice.
Yeah, harboring a fugitive.
Yeah, all that shit. So I'm like, he must have made some kind of deal or something.
Like, how the fuck?
That's the only way you can get off from that.
And then you telling the police, okay, yeah, man, he left, he did this, he did that. So you telling that you not only nigga did you harbor him, now you snitching on the police to your son. It's crazy.
Definitely. I don't, I didn't get that part. I don't know if the boys didn't have any other eligible people to take care of them or something, but I think he made a plea deal or made some kind of a deal with them. They have to if he's not doing time.
Then, like, you gotta think with the cameras. With the cameras, anytime you got cameras, right? Cameras look at whatever they looking at for what you want it to make it look like. So, but when having camera footage, with every camera, it's always a blind spot to that camera. So no telling if he did whatever he did in this blind spot to the cameras.
Okay. I didn't think about
You know
that.
what I'm saying? He could have did some shit in the blind spot to the camera.
And he would only know the blind spot. I wonder if she knew they were. No wonder she severed the camera. So I'm interested to know what they argued about.
And then
There's somebody that does that.
Look, they said that the neighbors said that they never heard nothing. They never seen nothing. The police going over there, they thought they was the perfect family, right? So then, how was the police saying in this conference that somebody had called and said that they was drunk and arguing? If neither one of them called, that mean the neighbor would have called. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, that does get weird. They were drunk and arguing. Nobody called. And he was able to do all this. He must have a little spot.
I would think.
He got a little spot somewhere outside the view of the camera, like a little shed or something. Yeah, that fool did some. He's a piece of work. Man like that is always a piece of work. If he got cameras in his own house, that's an issue. You're supposed to have cameras outside your house protected, not inside. And that's
like having hella cameras, and like they say, 7,000 square feet. They said this was a drunk domestic dispute, and it's like, come on, man, if you know your partner be doing some crazy ass shit off the liquor, you might as well don't either drink with them or monitor they drinking, because after a few shots, now you probably a few bitches and some motion. After a few shots,
she probably was trying to leave his ass. Let's get real. I mean, it might have been a situation where she was probably trying to leave his ass. You know?
But they were showing the happy pictures, and it don't seem like she was leaving.
Of course that's always going to be the case, especially for a controlling person. They don't want to an inkling that they're unhappy.
Like this situation right here. If you how he was looking at his spouse, how he was looking at her, how he was smiling, cheesing, etc. How do you go from that moment, and you go from that vibe, that feeling, to now you saying you in self-defense, you had to unalive that woman you once looked in the face and said you love? Nigga, that's crazy.
Yeah, he was in control of her, and she probably got tired of it. He probably was trying to leave his ass. That's probably what happened. And he didn't want that, and so he, bam, this up to her, killed her, and did what he needed to do.
This shit
dirty
crazy.
Old bastard. It is crazy.
Hey,
it happens a lot. Some women escape, some women don't. Some men escape, some don't. It could have been a situation where she figured out what she was in.
To anybody in the community, I can be talking to a future juror, and so we want to always keep that in mind because of the victim and giving her the best shot of justice that we can possibly do. But all that being said, Major Harper started looking at the time frame where he could be, and actually came up with a pretty good conclusion that with the time frame and one of the last hits in Georgia off a tag reader, that he might be in Louisiana. So while he was in the process of trying to find some agencies, including the Louisiana State Police, that could help us, we were able to use some other tactics, and we actually were able to locate his vehicle in Covington, Louisiana. We immediately reached out to the Louisiana State Police to let them know that, and also from your press release that we handed out, the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office. And let me just say that they went to bat for us wholeheartedly. Huge team effort on their part as well. They located the vehicle, and it was in a motel in Covington, Louisiana. They felt pretty confident that he was inside this motel. One of his vehicles was located outside, and they called in the SWAT team. And as we were listening to that, I will also, as we were trying to get updates from St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office, we were also holding our crime scene, doing the best job we can possibly do. And we wanted low light to come in because we have a process to where in low light, we can look for small traces of body fluids and such. Before we go traipsing around and damaging a crime scene, we want to make sure that we can see. About the same time, we had asked for a cadaver dog. And I want to give a tremendous thank you to the handler, Tracy Sargent, who came out and put her cadaver dog on the ground. During all of this, keep in mind that St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office SWAT team is surrounding somebody that I can tell you we're on pins and needles because of what you see. What you see by law enforcement in encounters with what we would assume a very well-armed man that's very desperate, that's even given his father his last will and testament just earlier today, and what encounter that can be. And we want everybody to be safe. So at that point, I got almost basically two calls at the same time that the cadaver dog located our victim, which was buried in a very shallow grave on the back part of the property. And at the same time that the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office took him into custody without incident. And he was armed at the time, and there was many more weapons located inside the vehicle. So this morning, our investigators, two of our investigators, Captain Brian Lee and the case agent, which is Sergeant Tawilla Wilson, flew out on the first flight possible to Louisiana. And as we speak, they're probably still in the interview room, and they have been for some time because the suspect has waived his rights and has pretty much confirmed, actually, I guess the word would be that he confirmed that he was watching us. He was watching us and he was listening to us, exactly what we had thought. And so he knew exactly where we were, what we were doing. We had to change our plan because that's something that I've never encountered before. Because you definitely don't want to talk about things like that. So in front of cameras, in front of things like that. So we do have that. We do have a lot of the recording, but we are missing what we believe is the time of the homicide of the recording. But he did confirm to the officers that he did consider suicide, and he did consider suicide by a law enforcement officer. So those are we see that unfortunately all the time. So that's our case at this point. We're learning a lot at this point, talking to him. Do y'all have any questions? Because right now, that's really where we're at.
Obviously, we see the press release. Probably the thing I think sticks out to a lot of us is partially burned body. Can you speak a little bit to that? I mean, we hear about shootings and things of that nature, but when you find a body half burned, I mean, the reaction, how do you learn about that in this situation?
Yeah, and let me say this too. There's a lot of things that run through your mind after you've done this for almost 4 decades. And I know that this video will live a long time. And I know that there's 2 children that's their mom. And I have to think that one day they're going to watch this video. Hopefully when they can digest that, when they can, deal with that process, and it's not something they see anytime soon. So I'm always careful about knowing that. And so at this time, all I want to say is it was partially burned, and that everything appears that she died by gunshot wounds.
And do we have any details on what led to this?
We do know alcohol was involved from his testimony, because you got to understand we're looking at a crime scene that's well over 24 hours old and that's been cleaned up. But we definitely know the alcohol's involved, and it was a domestic dispute that ended in gunfire.
Where were the children in between the last time they saw their mom and when you all were alerted to the crime?
The children had not seen their mother since Monday, and we believe that the homicide took place between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. on Tuesday. So they went to school on Tuesday, never seeing their mother. They went to school on Wednesday, never seeing their mother. There is another person that lives at this residence that is a relative to the decedent and gave us some additional information as well. So I think that about covers it. Major, do you have anything? Or
This is pretty much, they try to make it life as usual for them so that they didn't realize what occurred.
yeah, the father and tried to make it life as usual.
Is this person who was in the house going to face any charges?
Not at this time, because I don't think they knew about the case from what we know right now until he filled them in about the same time he filled his father in, who, after leaving the bank, came to the residence. And not sure if he entered the house or not, but he did call us from the driveway, and then we cleared the house. So, like I said, this is where we are. He's still in an interview room with our two investigators. We've still got a lot of background investigation to do, and we don't even know certain things that we would pick up on pretty quickly, just because we don't even know what Mr. Hardin does for a living. So, but I can tell you, I feel like that he had enough time, that he had a plan, he had an exit, he figured out what he wanted to do, and we'll even learn more, I'm sure, as the time goes on. But I think that about covers it. I think you probably can see why we wanted to do a press release on this.
Yeah, just one last question. I mean, on a personal level, I mean, when you see this with two kids now left without their mother, most likely without their father for a long time, and especially the conditions that this led to, a partially burned body, a shot mom, I mean, how does this hit you personally?
Personally, I don't think anybody can do this very long and not tote some of it, because you deal with people, you take on their tragedies. I don't think you can do this job and not take it on. But I think, a good officer, and like I said, I'm almost going into my fourth decade. You stay in the fight, so to speak, and you know that somebody out there needs justice. And like a case like yesterday, my number one thing was public safety, not just for the public, but it's for officers. And knowing where he is, we knew he wasn't anywhere around here because of one of the last tag reads. But before, I feel like he made a lot of changes to keep from being read anymore, because it's pretty common knowledge. But yeah, you realize that if you know how to do this job, you want to do it for the right reasons, and you want to take care of those victims, and that's what you do. And then one day, maybe when this career is over, you'll probably digest it, and you'll probably go, how did we do it?
Sheriff, has he confessed to your investigators?
He is completely cooperating, to the point that I will tell you that Captain Lee, who has been an investigator at least 3 decades, said, I've never had a homicide suspect wanted.
All right, we're gonna stop it right there real quick. Bro, you don't wanna, I mean, nigga, you ain't got no choice, bro. Like, you done did so much stuff to where, all right, you done burned her body, you buried her body, you cleaned up the scene, you fled the scene, then you fled the state.
Yeah, they're gonna do him a combo meal on his ass in jail. He gonna be charged with so much shit. Jesus, man.
His
He don't
daddy
need
gonna
to
get
get out.
charged for some stuff too.
You think eventually they'll come for him?
You said what happened?
You think they'll come for him?
Who for? They ain't had no choice but to come from him. Come for him
like the dad.
He left for one. He left a whole bunch of shit behind.
No, I'm talking about the
He
dad.
didn't clean. The dad. They should come back for the dad. The dad. The dad knew about it and didn't call the police. The dad at the bank getting the money out so his son can leave. Like, come on, bro. You think that nigga name ain't flagged, bro? To where they like, bro, if he go in the bank, if he go to an airport, if he go to a Greyhound station, a train station, anything, get his ass.
Man. Yeah, this is some sick shit, man.
Yeah, that could be accessory after the fact.
This is really sick. Men who are controlling like that is sick. Yeah, they. I'm interested, like I said, to know what they argued about. I bet you it was something crazy. Maybe she
Man,
wanted to
shout out
leave.
Black Girl in the Loss. Shout out Black Girl in the
Absolutely.
Loss. They said they was drunk and arguing, but what evidence was it to say that they was drunk and arguing?
See, that's what he said. That's what he said.
That's just what they said. Yeah.
You know, we don't know the truth, but you know, he gonna tell it. He gonna spin it the way he want to spin it. If she's not here to talk about it, but as they figure it out, they'll know more. That's crazy though, ain't it? First of all, the first bad sign. Well, one red flag that I said was.
And I asked him over the phone on speakerphone just minutes.
What you had said?
No, one red flag is that he had cameras all over his own house, inside the house. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a red flag to me.
Man, they had so many cameras in between that house, and then outside the house, outside the house.
That's like a I don't know what do they call that? That's one of them, like it's like a I don't know. It's like he built a fortress or something, inside and outside the house, and he's over in Louisiana watching this. What they doing? You know what I'm saying? So they gotta act like they don't see it. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
So, do you think his daddy deserved to go to jail?
Yeah. Just it depends, you know, because how soon did he go? So the daddy went. How did they know this happened? Did the daddy call? You know, who called the police?
One of the neighbors called the police, who they said that was a happy couple. They was good couple. One of them called.
I wonder why. Probably suspicious. That means the happy couple must have had some shit going on that nobody talked about. You know what I'm saying? They must not have been all that happy if they was able to call like that without hearing anything. Or they heard the gunshot. But it could have been a silencer. We don't know. But if nobody, I'm just wondering what was the reason why they called on the happy couple. They had to hear something, or maybe they observed something. I don't know. Maybe she was friends with one of them. I don't know. I just find it interesting that they didn't hear anything. Maybe I missed something, but they said they didn't hear anything and they didn't think anything. So my question is, who really called? Because if you don't hear nothing, you ain't gonna, call nothing. Not the happy couple. No. You see what I'm saying? They must have been suspicious of something.
Anthony Craig.
Or must have seen something. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Before y'all came in here, do you believe it?
Breaking news, and it appears home prices in southern Nevada are nearing a record high. We're getting the latest report just out this morning from the Las Vegas Realtors Association.
And he said, absolutely. So we feel like he is actually telling us the real story. And the tragedy is, here was a family that has now completely imploded, and you've got more than one victim that's deceased. You've got a lot of victims, especially those little boys.
And as far as in your experience, like you said, almost 4 decades, how rare is something like this to happen in Fayette County?
It's we don't have that many homicides, thankfully, very thankfully, because it's a great community, and we get a lot of good feedback in our community. We're very appreciated. It is very uncommon, but when it happens, and I can't reiterate this anymore, when it happens, to watch this agency pull together. I've even got admin staff, not law enforcement, that were making sure the officers on scene were getting, food, water, anything they need. Everybody pulls together, and it's pretty incredible to watch it. And we've got such talent that you can see in a case like this, that if it wasn't for some really smart investigators, this could have been very tragic. I think it was handled so well. And that's another thing that we had to do was the timeline, really, because you've got a sheriff in Louisiana that wants to tell his people what's going on. We need to tell people what's going on. But then at the same time, we also have to think, we want to make sure these kids are taken care of and they don't hear the wrong things at the wrong time. So I don't know, does that answer your question? Okay.
Sheriff,
Yes, ma'am.
Is it fair to say that with the cooperation, Mr. Hardin has expressed remorse? Am I understanding that? Did you say that, or?
Well, what I would say is at this point in time, upon his reflection, that he didn't choose a bad path yesterday by allowing himself to be taken into custody. The fact that he's willing to sit and talk to investigators to the point that they don't even know any more questions to ask him, although we did give him some more questions to ask, that he does want to cooperate. And I think that'll go a long ways, because you try not to get emotionally attached to this. But at the same time, you do grieve and know that things like this are hard on everybody.
And just to clarify, he didn't get the gun battle right with the SWAT team in Louisiana?
No.
He came there without incident?
I can tell you that, yes, he's admitted to some details that we are still maintaining that crime scene and still seeing some things that he is verifying for us.
Wow.
We about to continue this conversation in the clubhouse. Somebody. Y'all, hey, download the Clubhouse app. Look for the Real Gangland TV. We're going to continue this conversation in the Clubhouse, man. I'm going to go back live when I go to the lab, because I got to go to the lab, too. Y'all hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue this conversation in the Clubhouse. Download the Clubhouse app, and we're going to see y'all in the Clubhouse, man. I appreciate y'all.
Niggas know me, been off the points is like back when. Gang in the field, bitch, we be something like the Pac-10.
Gangland, we around this motherfucker, man.
Oh, man, bitch, stand on that. To the head, I'll show a nigga's feelings. My ninth and wood nigga, up the street from the village.
We ain't into that. You niggas don't talk no guns, we ain't into that.
Make sure you put him down, never leave a witness. No love for the suckers, never on forgiveness. Stomp down on these niggas, cause niggas is big.
Ooh, about to blow something. Man got the stick, about to hold something.
Ooh, y'all know what it is. It's Gangland TV to sit there and live. Hit the like button. Don't be boosty. And subscribe to the channel. And hit the notification bell, man. That shit easy, man. You know what I'm saying? Easy. Subscribing. That's free as fuck. Hit the notification bell. That's free as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That shit's free.
Gang in the field, bitch, we be something like the Pac-10.